Hello, I am Natalia Wojtkowiak and you are listening to the Manage the Problem podcast. I create this place for owners and decision makers of small and medium-sized manufacturing companies. In this podcast, I talk openly and specifically about the problems of production industry. I explain complex issues related to production management in simple language. I advise on how to create optimized processes and effective teams. This is podcast created by practitioner for practitioners. Let me be your guide and the Manage the Problem boat that will take us to the waters of practical knowledge and proven solutions. I hope you are ready. Manage the problem. Do you know that only 10% of all activities in a process are those that actually met your client's expectations? The remaining 90% allows these expected requirements to be met and the buyer to be satisfied. However, in this 90%, there are activities that cannot remove, and there's also activities that are simply waste for a process, and therefore for you. Have you ever observed, measured, and analyzed it? Did you know what is add value and non-add value in a process? Can you identify the waste of your processes? No? Give me 10 minutes, and I will explain you in a practical and simple way what you need to implement and improve in your production. Let's go. Manage the problem. Add value is often like a trailer for a bad movie in a cinema. All the best stuff it into 2 minutes, and the movie itself, you don't even know how it ended because you fall asleep. Or you like a movie that has surprising or touching ending. And non-add value, it's everything that made the ending sound so great, look so amazing. And there is one interesting thing in all of this. It's you, the viewer, who decide whether you like the film or not, whether it was worth waiting until the end or not. It's the money spent on the ticket wasted or not. And it is the same in the context of process values. Note that it is the customer who decide what features of product or service are important for him. They indicate the quality and prices he will pay. So add value is defined by activities that make it material components a desired product. That is why it's so important to know the customer's expectations and requirements, even he doesn't know them. And these requirements are not only for you, the owner, manager, engineer. Even the operator must be aware of them for the first day of work. Anything that doesn't directly contribute to this material to product change is called non-add value. And this is where we have to stop for a while. We divide non-add value into phenomena, activities that we cannot remove from process because it's against the law of physics and mathematics, and activities that are waste that can be eliminated. Okay, but what exactly is add value and non-add value? And what is obvious loss? So, add value in a process can include act of cleaning parts, for example from chips, plastic injection, assembly of elements, painting parts, product packaging, transport of product to the customer. And the customer will pay for these activities because he sees value in them. The product is clean, assembled, aesthetic, and delivered. So, of course, it depends on the specific of product and the customer experience. So, it is subject to modification. Non-add value may be activities such as movement and work of tools, setting parameters and machines, cleaning machines. We cannot skip these activities, but we must work on minimizing and optimizing them. And we move on the most important star of today's episode and the entire process general, waste. They may be additional product inspection, transport of the material and product to and from a warehouse, additional cleaning, operator movement, inventory and storage, waiting and delays, overproduction, and of course defects. That is a lot, isn't it? So do you have idea which losses you should address first because they are the easiest to detect and minimize? I hope you said material waste. Yes. This is the first step that I will allow you to start optimizing the process and bring the first savings. And although waste management isn't our topic today, I will just tell you that good direction of research are to process or sell it and start managing and control it. You probably burst out laughing that I'm asking you to deal with garbage, manage and monitor it. Yes, because if you don't know how much your garbage costs you, you most likely don't know how much your production costs you. So how do you start optimizing non-add value and pure losses? You and your team go to the production warehouse, shoot a video of each process, and then analyze it. The procedure is very similar to stage number 1 of SMED, which I talked about in previous episode. You know what your losses are. For example, internal time transport, long storage, 70% of waste. And you're wondering what you can do to change it. Maybe a new HAL layout, maybe a change in component design, maybe demanding higher quality from a supplier, maybe smaller production batches, maybe work on setting parameters. It's hard for me to give you a specific advice because I don't know your production and processes. But again, I encourage you and your people to observe, analyze and questioning current processes. Look for new solutions. Idea that in my experience often worked very well was introduce idea box into the production. These were boxes where production employees could share their ideas from process optimization and the best idea were implemented and rewarded. And I will repeat it again, that it's worth creating a space for conversation and exchange of ideas because they are often very valuable from organization. Check next episode of Manage the Problem podcast. I will also be grateful for any substantive feedback, positive comments and sharing this episode with others in our industry. I want this podcast to be a value and interesting for you. You can find me on LinkedIn. See you next episode. Manage the Problem. Natalia Wojtkowiak.